Hello, my name is Cindy Bacon and I am the professor for NUR 540, Financial Management in Healthcare. This video is an introduction to the course, and then I will do a second brief video with an introduction to clinical for the class. So welcome. Happy to have you in class this semester, and I'm going to go ahead and go briefly through the syllabus and the course calendar as we would if we were meeting in a face-to-face class. So, as I said, this is NUR 540, Financial Management in Healthcare. This is a 3-credit course, and it is a required course for the MSN and the MSN MBA program. I am the faculty for the course. And if you look on the syllabus and follow along, you will see that on the first page of the syllabus, there is my contact information, my office number, my phone number, my email. The best way to get a hold of me is via email. I will respond to you as quickly as I can. I'm usually very good about getting back to students quickly. If you need to reach me with something urgently or you need a very immediate answer, you can call my telephone number, which is my cell phone. My cell phone is the other way to get me. You can call my office number, but I am rarely in my office, typically 1 to 2 days a week for only a brief period of time. So if you do call my office number, and for example, you call on a Thursday, it'll be the following Monday before I get your message. So please, if you need me by phone, call my cell phone. If you do leave me a voice message or a text message, please identify yourself because I won't know your phone number. This course is an introduction to the principles of financial management, healthcare agency accounting principles, and the nursing administrator's role in the budgeting and finance process. You will see the course objectives there also on the front page, as well as the topical outline for the things that we are going to cover. We will be talking about basic accounting principles, including an introduction to healthcare finance, the financial environment, and some applied economics concepts, some analysis of financial information. Then we're going to move into the second part, which is financial planning, talking about healthcare costs and prices, planning and control, business plan and zero-based budgets, and break-even analysis are important concepts under that. And then our final unit will be on budget development, and we're going to talk about capital budgets, operational budgets, personnel budgets, controlling operations, including variance analysis and analysis of variance, which is a very important part of the nurse leader's job. Continuing on to page 3 on the syllabus, you will see here the topical outline and the weeks. We are a 16-week course minus spring break, so it's actually 15 classroom weeks, and the final week is exam week. Teaching methods in this course will be a lot of assigned readings, reflective journaling, discussion forums. We'll have some Excel soft spreadsheet examination. There is a learning area module, which is probably going to be new to most of you, that we'll be using as a supplemental for the course. And you'll see that as you go into the Canvas worksite. There'll be PowerPoint lecture presentations, videos, 2 student presentations, group projects for the class. We also have 3 quizzes, and if you move on to the next page of the syllabus, you'll see there are 3 quizzes that constitute a total of 15% of the grade, so 5% each. Clinical journals, which you're already familiar with, the same clinical journaling that we do for all of our MSN admin courses, that's 20% of your grade, and there are 2 journals for this course. Then we have a final project, which counts as your final exam, which is 30% of your grade. There are 4 discussion boards that are 10% of your grade, and then a business plan that's 25% of your grade. So 55% of your grade is group projects in this course, which is really important because what I want you to walk away with is the ability to apply the information that you're learning to your work. And that's really important. It's important to understand concepts, but I want you to be able to apply it in your work, and these group projects will allow you to do that. There are 42 clinical hours. We'll talk about that separately in the clinical evaluation. You will also see that there's the usual grading scale per the graduate student handbook that is listed there. There is a late work penalty. If work is late, it's 10 points per day for late work if you have not contacted me ahead of time. If you contact me ahead of time and we work out an alternate due date, then of course that's a totally different scenario. That's one thing I want to be really clear about, me and my philosophy. I am very flexible and I am willing to do whatever I can to help students as long as you communicate with me and meet me halfway. Where I find it difficult to help students is when they come to me at the last minute. Now, obviously, there are certain last minute things that you can't control, and I understand that. But most of the time, if there's an issue that's come up and you come to me, I will work with you. If you don't come to me and you hit me with something at the last minute, then I'm not going to be flexible and there will be a work penalty. There are three required textbooks for the course. One is the first one, which is Jones, Finkler, Kovner, and Mose. Looks like this. And it's called Financial Management for Nurse Managers and Executives. I've used this book for the last 3 or 4 years with this course, but this is a brand new version, and they've done some nice additions, so I'm very pleased with that book. The second book that's required for this course is this one. This is Healthcare Finance. And Healthcare Finance is a book that I've also used. This is also a new edition. So this is the 5th edition. A lot of nice things. There's a lot of good practice exercises in this book, and they have answers in the back. So I really like this book. They're short type problems. They're not really wordy, they a lot of very helpful practical things so these two books are very helpful, and we're going to use them a lot in the class. The other required book is one that you have for all of your MS and admin courses, and you should already have it, and that's the APA manual. And then the Nursing Administration Scope and Standards of Practice is available to you online via permanent link from the library. So that is an ebook that we got some funding for, so we could reduce the cost of your textbooks a little bit. Assignments, as I said briefly just a minute ago, there are a number of assignments. One is the discussion board forums. There'll be 4 for this particular class, and these will be the same discussion guidelines that you use for all of the other MSN courses. Dr. Jenkins and I really try to streamline that so that's the same discussion board, the same practicum journal guidelines for all of our courses. So this will be new. This will not be new to you. You'll be familiar with it. The discussion forums, initial postings are due on Thursdays by 11:59, and then your final posting is due on Sunday as per usual. And you can read over this syllabus to get this information. Then we have practicum journals. Most of our courses have 3 clinical journals. Because we have so many other things in the finance course, I only have 2 journals for you all to do, and again 42 hours with your preceptor. One of the things about finance that might be a little bit different from the other clinical courses that you've had so far, finance is a very practical, hands-on type thing. So my expectation is that you will be working one-on-one with your preceptors in clinical, going over the concepts that we talk about in class. So if we're talking about capital budgets, I would want you to sit down with them and talk to them about how they do a capital budget. What type of things do they write a capital budget for? Ask them if they'll share their write-up that they did to get the funds. What type of proposal did they put in for the funding? If we're talking about staffing, how do they do their schedule? How do they calculate FTEs to determine what staff they need? All of those kind of things are practical things that you can learn and reinforce with your preceptor. Again, it's very important to me that you have that applicability to the real world. So what you're going to be doing with them is certainly following them along on their day, going to meetings and things like that. Hopefully you'll get an opportunity to go to a budget meeting with your preceptor during this semester. That's not always possible, but that's the reason that I was very specific about the type of preceptor that you need for this course. You need someone who does have staff that report directly to them, who is responsible for a budget, so that they can go over these types of things easily with you, because they do them every day in their job. We'll talk more about the preceptor and all of that when I do my clinical video. The practicum journal, remember, is a documentation of the practicum experience. It's the only way I know that you're progressing towards goals. and that will be again 2 journals. And then the 2 group projects, which again is the more than 50% of your grade. There's going to be first a business plan that you're going to do, and this is there's a rubric later on that we'll talk about in a few minutes in the syllabus. And then we have a final group project where there's a new hospital. The scenario is it's a brand new hospital that has a new population. And they've changed from a women's hospital to a full-service hospital that now has ER and surgery and everything. So you're going to walk through all the steps that you would do if you were opening up a brand new unit. Doing a market analysis. Some of those things you'll practice in the business plan. Like the first half of it you'll practice in the business plan. And you'll get experience with all of those types of things. So that counts as your final exam. It's a project for the course. And then there'll be 3 quizzes. Again, they're not a large amount of points because I know people get anxious about quizzes and exams, but they are to help you practice some of calculations and those types of things that we're going to do in the class. You'll next see on the syllabus here the academic integrity policy. This is no different than any of our other courses at UNCG, but it is a reminder to you that all coursework, including papers, journals, assignments, and exams, will not be graded unless we have the signed academic integrity statement on your assignment. I have abided by the academic integrity policy on this assignment with your signature, and just typing is fine. Since we are an online course, you won't be able to sign your name, but typing your name is fine. You'll see a link here to the academic integrity policy, which you can click on if you have any questions. Just as a reminder, you are expected to follow academic integrity, meaning that you're going to do your own work, that there's no plagiarism, no cheating, etc. Then you're going to see an attendance policy. I realize that we are not a face-to-face course, so you're not going to actually be sitting in a classroom, but it is expected that you have regular attendance and active participation in any of your group work. You will be meeting with your groups virtually or via the phone. So you need to attend these group sessions as you plan your 2 projects, but also regularly signing into Canvas each week, keeping up with the assignments. I can see exactly when and where you've last signed in and how many hours that you've been spending in the course, and I would expect that everyone will be putting in their fair share of time in order to complete the assignment so that you get something good out of this course. You have to put the work in it to get the benefit out of it. Due dates for all assignments are posted in the course calendar. Congruent with UNCG policies, there is a drop add policy, and there's a date which will be marked here on the syllabus. It's usually the first week of March that you can withdraw without incurring a withdraw fail grade. There's also a welcome letter that's going to be posted in the Canvas site once I open it up for you, and it just goes over a lot of policies and things that are relevant to the MSN admin course. I realize this is not your first course, however, we want to make sure that you have that information available to you. Communication is really important requirement of this course. You need to access Canvas, you need to participate in discussion forums, you have to have an active UNCG email account, and you need to check it regularly. It's very frustrating to me when I email somebody and it takes them a week to reply. I'm not going to take that long to reply to you. I'm going to try to reply within 24 hours. If it's a weekend, it might be 48, but usually I answer it on the weekends as well. So my goal is to try and answer within 24 hours, and I expect you to be checking your email within once a day, ideally. Just a reminder about discussions. We purposefully, in the MSN admin program, do not have faculty participate in the electronic discussion forums. We do regularly monitor all of the activity, your initial posts, the discussions that are going on throughout the week. We will only join in on the discussion if there's a significant divergence from the topic. So if the group somehow diverges off into some other tangent, then we will participate in the discussion and get people back on track. But otherwise, we do not, on purpose, participate in the class discussion. Sometimes that question comes up, and I just wanted to clarify that. You have the course calendar, as I said. Faculty do reserve the right to alter assignments as needed to facilitate student learning, to help meet the outcomes. I generally don't defer, or not defer is not the word I want. I don't move away from the syllabus. I usually am pretty firm in keeping it as is, but you know, you never know what happens. Sometimes we have things that come up and we need to change things. All words should be submitted in Microsoft Word in a doc or docx format. And all written assignments should conform to APA guidelines. Just to note, if you do have any learning disabilities or any factor that could impact your performance in this class, you do need to contact the professor, which is me, as soon as possible. We have an Office of Disability Services, and there's a web address on your syllabus that you can access to talk to somebody if you need assistance with any type of accommodation for a disability. I think that's mostly the things that I wanted to go over. I'm looking over at the syllabus now and the course calendar. Should you have any questions, please let me know. Again, I want to stress to you that it is my goal to work with you one-on-one, to be available to you, to make this be a really good experience for you. For a lot of people, finance is kind of intimidating, and for some people a little bit scary. And I want to make it so that you leave the course with an appreciation for it, with a basic level of knowledge that you can use to build on and grow in your job. So I hope my goal is to make it not scary and to make it an enjoyable experience for you this semester. So again, my job is to work with you, and I'm here if you need anything. Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to a great semester.